Hey, welcome. I'm Jeremy Vaughn Clark, and welcome to the RISEpoint podcast, where potential meets presence. I'm a speaker, coach, and author, and I help people go from invisible to undeniable and rise to a point the world can't afford to overlook. Because I believe we all have a rise point, the moment where hiding is no longer an option and rising is the only way forward. And this podcast is all about finding your rise point. I'm so excited that you're here with me today. This is the first episode, and we are going to be diving in on a variety of topics on this podcast, ranging from resilience, insight, success, self-awareness, confidence, empowerment, how to activate that inner invisible potential so that the world can finally see your presence. And this is just the beginning. So for today, we're going to be talking about how to bounce back when you've been overlooked. Now, I know a lot of you in your life have felt overlooked at one point or another. And honestly, that's one of the most frustrating things that you could possibly go through, right? Like you show up, you do the hard work, and you're still getting passed over. You're wondering why the work that you're putting in is not translating to the outputs that you are getting. There's so much happening. The pain of feeling invisible and understanding that, hey, I have so much more to offer, but people are not seeing it. But I'm putting in the work. But this other person is getting the recognition, they're getting the promotions, they're getting the validation that I seek. And that hurts. That really stings. And I'm sure a lot of you have been there. You start to feel like you're doubting yourself. You're getting bitter about your own situation and how this could possibly happen to you. And you start to question yourself, doubt yourself, and think about giving up. The problem with that is this is all on you. And here's the hard truth. The reason that you're getting overlooked is not because of others. It's because of yourself. Let me say that again. The reason that you are getting overlooked is not because of others. It's because of yourself. You have to think about, what are you currently doing that is allowing yourself to be overlooked? What is the presence that you are not showing up with? I'll tell you guys a quick story. So I remember working at my old corporate 9-to-5 job, and I was an entry-level position. And my main thing was, okay, I'm going to work hard, and eventually they're going to see my value and they're going to promote me. I'm fresh off getting my bachelor's. I'm in the process of getting my master's. I feel like I'm a total catch. My personality, I was getting along with everybody. But at the same time, I was not getting the recognition I thought that my work deserved. I was meeting deadlines. I felt like I was going above and beyond in the service to the people that my company served. And at this point, when promotions would come up, I would reach out, but I wouldn't get considered. Time and time again, I would see others in my same position get promoted who didn't have the credentials that I had. And the problem with that was I was thinking that my own skills were enough validation for me to get that job without them knowing what those skills were. So how did I overcome this? How did I stop getting overlooked and start getting recognized and eventually earning promotions? How did that look for me? For me, that looked like I started to put myself out there more. And what I mean by that is I had to understand who were the players in my world that I had to get to know so they could get to know me and what I could bring to the table and what I can offer. What I started doing was I started reaching out. I started sending out emails. I started setting up shadow opportunities. I started trying to learn my craft in a way that others see me trying to learn. I started to adapt. I started to put myself out there. Then soon enough, I got an email. Hey, Jeremy, there's a position open. I think you'd be perfect for it. Do you want to talk about it over lunch? I said, sure. So me and this person, we went to lunch. We talked. I was able to describe a little bit more of my skills and what I could bring to the table. And sure enough, after that conversation, they were like, all right, well, when the interview comes, we're going to interview you, and I think you're going to be great. You're going to be a shoo-in. But really what that luncheon was the interview. Because of everything I did up until that point to land that first meeting and that first encounter. So I put myself out there in order to get that. So a lot of you are being overlooked because maybe you're not putting yourself in a position for people to see your value. Now, you may be thinking, but I'm doing everything right. Why should I even keep trying? Why should I even continue to put energy into something that isn't pouring back into me? See, the problem is you being overlooked doesn't mean that you lack value. It simply means that your presence isn't being activated yet. Your presence is what validates who you are. And without activating it, you will continue to be overlooked. So what are some ways that we can bounce back from this? What are some ways? One of the ways is affirming your truth. You have to affirm who you are. Sometimes that just looks like waking up, going to the mirror, and actually saying out loud who you think you are. Affirmations are my thing. If you've been following me, you know I have a book on this. Did you know you are the shit? All about how to use affirmations to overcome self-doubt. You look in the mirror, you say things to yourself that positively affirm who you think you are. I'm confident. I'm smart. I'm worthy. I can get the job done. I will get the things that I want out of life. You have to affirm yourself and you have to believe it. Because you can talk, but if you talk but you don't believe it, well, then you're just not in alignment and it's not going to work out for you anyway. So affirming yourself, number one, is one of the most important things you can do. Because when you affirm yourself, others cannot go against how you believe yourself to be. Even if they are showing otherwise, you know your value. And when you know your value, and that starts with you, everything works out. All right. I think another way to do this is just reaching out for feedback from others around you and being neutral about it. Right? When you reach out to people, I think people's natural, I believe, what am I trying to say? Their natural reactions are to be nice to you, to not want to hurt your feelings. But you have to be upfront about, hey, don't mind hurting my feelings. Give it to me straight. What's working for me? What's not working for me? And be able to review the feedback with a neutral mind. That's very important. Being neutral about it, because when you're neutral about it, you can pivot. And when you can pivot and make changes, you can then improve for the better and then implement things into your life that's actually going to help you out and help you bounce back. All right. And one of the most important things you can do is re-entering the game with purpose. Life is a game. Everything we do is a game, right? Sometimes the end goal of the game is to win. Sometimes the end goal of the game is to survive. Whichever game you are playing, you have to play it right. So when you are being overlooked or when you have a setback, that's just one part of the game where you have to beat out that level and get to the next level of the game. So when you get knocked out and you lose a life, You got to re-enter the game with a new strategy, a new mindset, and how you're going to do things differently based on what you learned the first time you got knocked out. Right? So you have to re-enter the game with a purpose. Life is going to knock you back, but you have to understand how to move forward within the game that you were playing. All right. And one of the last ways to do this is just to build an undeniable presence by deciding to not let external validation define your trajectory. That's about the best way I can say it. Do not let external validation define your trajectory. You have to become the undeniable presence that's already within yourself. Validate yourself. Look for the things that you can do for yourself. Prove it to yourself over and over and over. That way, no one outside of you can shift your trajectory or make you feel small or unworthy or overlooked or insecure or make you doubt yourself, because you've already proven to yourself over and over and over again what you are capable of. All right, guys, that's the podcast episode for today. How to just understand yourself, how to understand, that being overlooked is a common thing. Being overlooked is something that happens to all of us, but it's how you bounce back from being overlooked that's going to make a world of difference. Thanks for tuning in to the RISEpoint podcast. If today's episode helped you spot something within yourself, don't just sit on it. Spark it, show it, and rise, because the world needs only what you can bring. Be sure to subscribe, leave a review, and share this with someone who is ready to become undeniable. Until next time, this is Vaughn Clark, and I'll see you on the next episode.